Welcome, devoted fans of TV Day's Drama Digest, to another heart-pounding chapter in the ever-unfolding saga of Days of Our Lives. The quaint yet treacherous town of Salem is once again ablaze with secrets, betrayals, and the kind of raw emotion that keeps us glued to our screens. Today, we delve into a storyline that crackles with intensity as Maggie Horton-Kiriakis, the beloved matriarch whose warmth has long been a beacon in Salem's stormy seas, takes a shocking stand that could shatter lives. The question on everyone's lips: did Maggie orchestrate Xander Kiriakis' arrest to protect her niece Sarah and her great-niece Victoria from a man spiraling into darkness? Buckle up, dear readers, for a tale of loyalty, vengeance, and the lengths a mother will go to safeguard her own. The Horton family living room, with its cozy furnishings and memories of countless reconciliations, is no stranger to drama. Yet, on this fateful day, it serves as the backdrop for a confrontation that will reverberate through Salem's core. Maggie, her silver hair catching the soft glow of a lamp, stands with a steely resolve that belies her gentle demeanor. Across from her is Xander, his rugged features taut with defiance, his eyes burning with a mix of guilt and desperation. The air between them crackles with unspoken accusations, and the weight of their shared history hangs heavy, threatening to crush them both. The catalyst: a brutal attack on Philip. To understand the storm that has engulfed Maggie and Xander, we must first rewind to the event that set this tragedy in motion: the brutal assault on Philip Kiriakis. Philip, the charming yet volatile son of Victor Kiriakis, has always walked a fine line between ambition and recklessness. But nothing could have prepared Salem for the sight of him battered and broken, his life hanging by a thread after a vicious attack that left him clinging to survival in Salem University Hospital. Sarah Horton, Maggie's niece and a skilled doctor, was among the first to respond when Philip was rushed into the emergency room. Her hands, steady despite the horror before her, worked tirelessly to stabilize him, stitching wounds and monitoring vital signs as the hospital staff fought to pull him back from the brink. The scene was chaos, monitors beeping, nurses shouting, and the sterile scent of antiseptic mingling with the metallic tang of blood. Sarah's heart pounded as she saw the extent of Philip's injuries: broken ribs, a fractured jaw, and bruises that painted his body in shades of purple and black. This was no mere bar fight. This was a calculated act of violence, a message written in pain. As Sarah worked, whispers began to circulate, carried on the lips of Sheriff Jada Hunter. The name that surfaced sent a chill down Sarah's spine: Xander Kiriakis. Jada revealed that Kate Roberts, Philip's mother, had pointed the finger squarely at Xander, her suspicions fueled by his volatile history and recent tensions with Philip. The accusation was a dagger to Sarah's heart. Xander, her former love, the man with whom she had shared dreams of a future, now stood accused of an act so heinous it defied comprehension. The weight of betrayal settled over her like a shroud, and in that moment, Sarah knew she could no longer ignore the darkness that had taken root in Xander's soul. A fractured bond. Sarah and Xander's collapse. Once, Sarah and Xander were a couple that burned brightly, their love a defiant flame against the chaos of Salem. But like so many romances in this town, theirs was tested by secrets and lies. Xander's penchant for ruthless ambition, inherited from his Kiriakis blood, clashed with Sarah's compassion and moral compass. The attack on Philip was the final straw, shattering what remained of their bond. When Sarah confronted Xander, her voice trembling with a mix of anger and grief, he offered no denial, only a brooding silence that spoke volumes. That night, Xander packed his bags and left the home they had shared, the doors slamming shut on their past with a finality that echoed through Salem. Sarah, now alone, cradled her daughter Victoria, the child she and Xander had brought into the world. Victoria, with her innocent eyes and tiny hands, was a reminder of what was at stake. Sarah vowed to protect her daughter from the violence and betrayal that seemed to seep into every corner of their lives. But as she rocked Victoria to sleep, her thoughts were consumed by the man she had once loved, a man who now seemed capable of unspeakable cruelty. The question gnawed at her: had she ever truly known Xander, or had she been blinded by love? Maggie's warning. A mother's fierce resolve. Enter Maggie Horton Kyriakis, the heart and soul of Salem, whose kindness is matched only by her fierce protectiveness over her family. Maggie has seen her share of tragedy, from the loss of loved ones to the betrayals that have scarred the Horton and Kyriakis clans. But nothing could have prepared her for the moment she learned of Xander's alleged role in Philip's attack. Her niece Sarah, once radiant with hope, was now a shadow of herself, haunted by the man she had trusted. And Victoria, Maggie's great niece, was an innocent caught in the crossfire of a family unraveling. In a scene that will linger in the minds of Days fans, Maggie confronts Xander in the Horton living room. The setting, usually a haven of warmth, is transformed into a battleground of wills. Maggie, her voice steady but laced with steel, delivers a warning that sends a shiver through Xander. "I will do whatever it takes to protect Sarah and Victoria." The words hang in the air, heavy with intent. Xander, his jaw clenched, searches her eyes for a hint of bluff, but finds only resolve. Maggie, the woman who once welcomed him into her family despite his checkered past, now stands as his adversary, her love for Sarah and Victoria outweighing any lingering affection for him. The confrontation is a masterclass in tension. Maggie, petite and unassuming, radiates a quiet strength that unnerves Xander, whose bravado falters under her gaze. He knows Maggie's history. She has faced down titans like Victor Kyriakis and Stefano Di Mera and emerged unbroken. Her threat is no idle one, and Xander is left grappling with the realization that he may have underestimated the woman who has become his greatest obstacle. As he storms out, the question lingers: has Maggie already set a plan in motion to ensure his downfall? The arrest. A shocking turn of events. The drama reaches a fever pitch in the next episode, as Sheriff Jada Hunter arrives at Salem University Hospital with handcuffs in hand. The hospital, a place of healing, becomes the stage for a public reckoning. Xander, still reeling from Maggie's warning, is caught off guard as Jada approaches, her expression grim. "Xander Kyriakis, you're under arrest for the assault on Philip Kyriakis," she declares, her voice cutting through the hospital's bustle. The words are a thunderbolt, and the onlookers, Kayla Johnson and Brady Black, watch in stunned silence as Xander is led away, his hands cuffed behind his back. The scene is electric with drama. Kayla, the hospital's chief of staff, clutches a clipboard, her eyes wide with disbelief. Brady, ever the loyal friend to Philip, struggles to reconcile his own complicated history with Xander. The hospital corridor, lined with sterile white walls and the hum of fluorescent lights, feels claustrophobic as the weight of the moment settles over everyone present. Xander's protests are drowned out by the clink of handcuffs, and as he's escorted out, his gaze locks onto Maggie, who stands at the edge of the scene, her expression unreadable. Is this Maggie's doing? The question burns in Xander's mind and in the hearts of viewers. Maggie, with her impeccable moral compass, has always been a force for good in Salem. But her fierce love for Sarah and Victoria may have pushed her to a desperate act. Did she tip off Jada, providing the evidence needed to secure Xander's arrest? Or is she merely a bystander, watching as the consequences of Xander's actions catch up with him? The ambiguity is delicious, a hallmark of Days of Our Lives' ability to keep us guessing. A web of motives. Unraveling the truth, let us pause to consider the possibilities. Maggie's actions, if indeed she orchestrated Xander's arrest, represent a seismic shift in her character. This is a woman who has spent decades nurturing and forgiving, even when faced with the darkest of betrayals. To take such a drastic step suggests a breaking point, a moment where her love for her family outweighed her principles. Perhaps Maggie, after learning of Xander's alleged attack on Philip, saw no other way to protect Sarah and Victoria from a man she now views as a threat. The thought of Victoria growing up under the shadow of Xander's volatility may have been the catalyst, pushing Maggie to wield her influence in a way she never has before. But there are other players in this game. Kate Roberts, Philip's mother, has her own reasons to see Xander behind bars. Her accusation, delivered to Jada with the precision of a seasoned strategist, may have been the spark that ignited this fire. Kate is no stranger to manipulation, and her grief over Philip's condition could have driven her to ensure Xander faced justice, real or fabricated. Could Maggie and Kate have conspired, their shared love for their children forging an unlikely alliance? The possibility adds another layer of intrigue, as two of Salem's most formidable women join forces to protect their own. And what of Sarah? Her role in this drama is both heartbreaking and pivotal. As a doctor, she is bound by a code of ethics, yet as a mother and a woman betrayed, she is driven by raw emotion. Did she confide in Maggie, sharing her fears about Xander's capacity for violence? Did she, knowingly or not, set the stage for Maggie's intervention? Sarah's silence in the wake of Xander's arrest speaks volumes, her absence from the hospital seen as stark contrast to her earlier determination to save Philip. Is she complicit, or is she simply a woman caught in the crossfire of her family's choices? The fallout, Salem divided as Xander sits in a holding cell, the ripples of his arrest spread through Salem. The Kyriakis family, already fractured by Victor's legacy, faces a new crisis. Brady, torn between loyalty to Philip and his own complicated history with Xander, may find himself drawn into the conflict. Kayla, a pillar of the community, grapples with the moral implications of Maggie's possible involvement, her faith in her friend shaken. And Sarah, raising Victoria alone, must confront the reality of a future without Xander, a future she both fears and craves. The town itself is a tinderbox, with alliances shifting and old wounds reopening. The Hortons, Bradys, and Kyriakises are no strangers to feuds, but this scandal threatens to engulf them all. Will Maggie's actions, if proven, unite or divide her family? Will Xander, ever the survivor, find a way to clear his name, or will he succumb to the weight of the evidence against him? And what if Philip, lying in a hospital bed, unaware of the storm his attack has unleashed? Looking ahead, a reckoning looms as we await the next episode. The questions multiply like shadows in the night. Did Maggie truly betray Xander to protect Sarah and Victoria, or is she a pawn in a larger scheme? Will Xander's arrest lead to a trial that exposes the truth, or will it deepen the divides within Salem's families? And what if Sarah, whose heart remains tethered to a man she can no longer trust? The answers lie in the next chapter of Days of Our Lives, where every revelation is a double-edged sword, cutting through lies to reveal the raw truth beneath. For now, we leave you with this thought. In a town where love and betrayal are two sides of the same coin, who will emerge unscathed? Maggie's warning to Xander was a promise, but at what cost? As the Horton living room fades to black, the stage is set for a reckoning that will test the bonds of family, loyalty, and truth. We hope you enjoyed it and look forward to sharing more with you in the future. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe TV Days Drama Digest for more updates on Days of Our Lives.